What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one, I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock, what you should be looking after for the future. I'm also going to do some in-depth technical analysis and give you guys my price prediction for tomorrow based off what the charts are showing and based off what the data is suggesting. I'm also going to break down some big announcements that came out from the Fed that are very important and what's going on with the SPY, because the SPY has some very interesting data. We have some very interesting things to discuss that institutions are doing with the SPY, and I really believe this will affect NIO for tomorrow. I'm going to show you exactly why. And before I break anything down about what's going on with NIO and also what NIO put on their Twitter page, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Don't take any of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. And not only benefits me, it benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000. And the best part is, out of these 12 free stocks, one of them could be a free Apple share. It's a limited time offer. The offer ends in just 7 days, so please check it out before they run out. There are a limited amount of stocks available. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So NIO was up 1.14% for the day, and what I told you guys yesterday was what ended up happening. So I mentioned that I saw crazy volatility from the overall market. And if you look at SPY, all right, what happened today? The SPY went crazy. First off, we had this crazy gap down. The SPY was down like almost 1%, a huge down, gap to about that 394 range. Then all of a sudden we rally up to 400. This was after Powell was speaking. Then all of a sudden the Fed Evans starts speaking. He says things the Fed doesn't like. Huge drop. And then all of a sudden, big reversal again. And then we just traded sideways for the last hour in the 399s, followed by what I would call a massive, massive push at the end of the day. So very crazy volatility. We were all over the place. And I told you guys what is said by the Fed, particularly Jerome Powell, will have a big effect on how on earth the market performs. And that is what ended up happening. Now, what does this mean for NIO? Well, if you look at NIO, it was so similar to SPY. Big gap down, push up, came down, traded sideways, push up at the end. Green day up 1.14%. And looking at the data, we could see very similar price action between SPY and NIO. The price pairs ratio, which is NIO over SPY, once again shows a consistent value. Now, what I'm essentially going to be talking about is the fact that Jerome Powell didn't really say anything too big. He just spoke for the sake of speaking. He didn't really give us any big updates other than the fact that it's very likely that he would raise rates again to fight inflation. I mean, we already knew that. There was nothing new. But Evans was the one who started making some other announcements that weren't really surprising at all. It was just the same repeated things we've been hearing over and over again. And yet the market did kind of react to some of the things he said. Now, there is something that concerns me about tomorrow. And when you see this, it's going to actually make a lot of sense. So the first thing to look at is on SPY, the volume was a little bit better. We got a nice push to the upside. SPY was actually pushing up today. How high was SPY up? I think it was up like 0.6%. Let me double check that. It was up like 0.65%. It's up a little bit in the after hours. But one thing to remember about SPY is this right here. If you look at SPY, you will notice that this thing was on a downtrend, but it has strong resistance at 401.5, around that 401 range. And we're currently at 400.38. And you could see today, when SPY was trying to move, and it was trying to run, we got a rejection of 400.86. And I think a couple of days ago, 401.5. So the SPY is coming very close to key resistance. And the question is, will we get rejected tomorrow? And as far as NIO goes, before I show you more information about the SPY, NIO's volume is just average. So I want to talk about something crazy. So I showed you guys this yesterday. This is the options chain for the SPY. And if you guys remember, yesterday the puts to call ratio for SPY was kind of close. It was like 1.1. Now it's 1.94. What does this mean? This means that we have about 400,000 or 500,000 calls, and we have about 900,000 puts now. My point is, institutions just loaded the boats on puts. They were buying puts like crazy, particularly the $400 strike. But Max Payne's at 396, which is an indication that the SPY is going to come down to this level or a little lower than that for tomorrow by close. All right. Why are institutions buying so many puts all of a sudden? They did it today. Why are they all of a sudden buying tons of puts that expire tomorrow? And what I'm trying to say is that puts are short positions, essentially. Why? It seems like they're going to drag the market down tomorrow and we're going to get a big rejection. And I personally think it's very likely that's going to happen unless they're about to get faked out and the bulls just push us up. I don't really think that's very likely. I think what's more likely to happen is the SPY pushes up, maybe to 401, 401.5, maybe a little higher. Who knows? Maybe they're going to try to fake people out, trick a lot of people, and all of a sudden we're going to get a big rug pull and SPY is going to come down to that mid $390 level, maybe a little lower, get a big bounce, then close around 396, 395 point something. I think that's going to happen tomorrow. And I think that because institutions, it just doesn't make sense for them to be buying this many puts and then let SPY just rally up and they'll lose billions of dollars. I think their main goal is to cause people to panic, to trick people, and to bring SPY down. What does this mean for NIO? Well, if you look at NIO is trading very similar to SPY today in terms of price action. I think for tomorrow, let me bring back my drawings. I should have my support and resistance levels. Yeah. So right now we have a new resistance level around that. Let me find it. 17.75 range. So now we're starting to treat this as resistance. This was not resistance previously, 17.7, 17.5. What I think will happen to NIO tomorrow is into open, I am anticipating that NIO is going to get a nice push to the upside. Let me just fix this chart real quick and show you. I think NIO is going to try to push up just a little bit tomorrow, and then we're going to get a rejection. But I don't see NIO crashing that hard because NIO's max pain is still at like $18 if you guys were to check max pain. And max pain is the level in which a stock could close at to cause the most pain on the options chain, which makes the most money for market makers. This is how institutions, the big market makers, big businesses, they make more money if the stock closes at that particular price or lower. So for NIO, I think tomorrow this thing's going to get a big push up. It's going to fight 17.7. Maybe, just maybe, it pushes as high as 18 bucks. Maybe. If SPY kind of like pushes up a little bit, I don't think it's going to push up that high, but I could see it going to the high 17s. Then a big rejection off that, as SPY, in my opinion, will get rejected. It'll come down like this. I think NIO is going to come down like this, push to that 17.37 range, try to hold that. I mean, do I see it going much lower? Not necessarily. It could maybe go to the low 17s, hold that, and we're going to close maybe around that mid to low $17 range, around 17.5, 17.4 for a slight red day. That's what I see for NIO for tomorrow because I do believe that the market makers are going to try to make money and they are going to push down SPY. Now, if I am wrong, because I'm not always going to be right, nobody could predict the market perfectly. I do this for the sake of the viewers who requested that I do this. But if I am wrong, you have to watch support and resistance levels and the price action of the chart. So if NIO pushes up like crazy, the first key resistance level, since we're at 17.68 as of right now, a little bit red in the after hours, you have to watch for 17.7 as resistance, 17.7 to 17.75. If we push above that, $18 is what you got to be watching. And then 18.5, I don't really see us going that high. Now, if we get a big rejection and NIO comes down, I'm going to be watching for about 17.3 to 17.25. If that doesn't hold, 17 is on the table. And if 17 doesn't hold, then this thing could go all the way to down to about 16.5. Now, do I really think we're going to go to 16.5? No, I don't see it happening that fast, but it is something to be prepared for. So please pay attention to support and resistance levels. And this is what I think will most likely happen for tomorrow. I'm anticipating some red. Now, anyways, I know that I mentioned some things that are not the best of news. Currently in China, there are more lockdowns right now, and these will have a negative effect on businesses. They, as of right now, have not been confirmed to affect NIO or Shanghai just yet. So I'm still optimistic. I don't see it being too bad. I hope for the best as of right now. Right now, the numbers haven't changed, which is why I'm not going to go into too much detail about that. But please note that I'm just talking about the short-term future for NIO, because the short-term market is it's going to be pretty volatile, pretty choppy. The long-term is still fantastic. If we look at NIO's Twitter page, we can see right here, NIO is well known for their NIO Power battery swap stations. Behind the scenes, we are addressing overall range anxiety to ensure that our users can be comfortable reaching their destinations with confidence. With that said, NIO Power is just amazing. Their battery swap stations are cool, and in the future, I could see more of them being built all over the world in parts of Europe, parts of China, and this could be very convenient for a lot of people out there. And I really think it gives NIO a big edge relative to other companies out there because their cars could be charged and actually use battery swapping technology. So, with that said, it's just one of the many big benefits of NIO. I'm still super bullish for the long term future as they expand over time. But for the short term, I still could see a little bit more chop and very, very strange, or should I say, kind of like bearish price action every now and then. With that said and done, thank you all so much for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. NIO to the moon because the long term future is bright, and peace out.